to however you celebrate with us. If anyone is uncomfortable with being recorded today, please will you drop us a message in the chat? We just want everyone to feel comfortable joining us today. And so if you're uncomfortable with being recorded, please drop us a message in the chat and we can stop the recording. We are joined today by 4 very esteemed panelists, and we have Maria from U of H, we have Angela, an alum from U of H, we have Yurima from another alum from U of H, and James, another alum from U of H. And I'm going to let them all introduce themselves because they will do a considerably better job than me. Maria, I'm going to let you take it away.
Right, thank you so much, Harriet and HYLA, for inviting us. Good afternoon, all. My name is Maria Sanchez Carbajo, and I'm the new director of Global and Graduate Programs at the Law Center. It's I've been working in the University of Houston for 5 years, but now this is my 2nd year as director at Global and Graduate Programs. So as you know, we are international, and we really like to receive international members, international students, but we also work with the local community. So we are very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Should I go? So hi, everyone. First of all, thank you to HYLA, Marianne, and Harriet. Thank you so much for inviting us. My name is Angela Di Blasi. I'm Deputy General Counsel of Tricon International. I've been with the company working for 12 years already, and I'm really happy to participate on this conversation. So it's a pleasure.
Okay, I'm next. I know I always introduce myself. I'm Yurima Grace. I always introduce myself as the grandmother of 4, mother of 3, and wife of just 1 husband. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just Venezuelan lawyer, also New York licensed attorney, and soon to be an English solicitor. I went to UA to get my LLM degree, and I'm now, when I'm not playing golf or tennis, I have to come to work as an assistant general counsel for Ecopetrol USA, which is an affiliate of Ecopetrol SA, the largest energy company in Colombia. And I'm super happy to be here today.
Hello, everyone. I'm James O. Last name, they always ask me how to pronounce it. I say it's just like letter O, not R. So I did the international LLM program at University of Houston Law Center from 2012 to 2013, together with Yurima and Angela, and actually with Mariame too, because she was the fantastic TA for one of the most difficult course, which is the US law and the legal system introduction to. So thank you again, Mariame. And I have been here in Houston for almost 12 years. In August would be, exactly 12 years. So I've been handling international litigation and arbitration here in the States. And I also acted as like what I call OGC, like outside general counsel for many Asian, the subsidiaries, the Texas subsidiaries of Asian, larger Asian like manufacturers. And for further information, maybe you can just Google. It's there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. I will briefly introduce myself as well, just to round this out. Harriet Wessel. I am a tax associate at Norton Rose Fulbright. I practice tax controversy and renewable energy tax. I too went to U of H, but I graduated in December of 2017. I did the international lawyers program there called US law, I believe, and tax law. So I got my tax LLM at U of H as well. It was amazing. I don't know that Maria and I spent that much time together, but I had Peggy was our director of legal studies. If anyone is familiar, any alums.
Yeah, certainly.
I also want to take this opportunity. I put it in the chat, but if you have any questions, we want you to come off mute, be brave, ask questions of our panelists, get involved in this conversation. So, you can raise your hand or you can just come off mute and join in with us. And so with that, I know some of you might be taking the bar exam. So I wanted just to ask our panelists if they have any tips, maybe share some of their experiences, just get this ball rolling. Angela, would you like to go first?
For sure. So in my experience, I took the New York bar. So at the time that I finished the LLM, the rules here in Texas were a little bit different and more stringent for foreign attorneys. It had a time bar when you needed to complete the LLM and take the bar, and I was off that time frame. And so being an international lawyer in New York, in an international jurisdiction, it made sense, so I prepared for that. At the time, I used Barbary as a method for preparing. There's a lot of people that have asked me why, during the LLM, if I prepare for the bar. And in my case, I use the LLM, of course, to complete the requirements to sit at the bar, but also to areas of the law that I practice and I'm more interested. Nothing wrong with criminal law and constitutional law, but are not areas, that I practice. So I focus on the LLM on other areas of the law. So then on the preparation of the exam, I had to catch up on those other areas. And Barbary was a really helpful tool for me. And yeah. So that in terms of the preparation, but I don't want to, I don't know, Yurima may give you more insights as to the actual experience of taking the exam. I don't know if you guys want to mention, I can jump with other additional tips on that.
Judy?
I can follow up.
For sure.
For me, the bar exam was a big challenge. I mean, it was painful and excruciating at the beginning because I took it somehow lightly. I knew I wanted to do it. I took New York. Because my practice is transactional in the international arena, and New York was the most suitable jurisdiction for me, but also because of Texas has those restrictions for foreign lawyers. And for the bar, it took me three tries. Okay, the first one, I was working full time and trying to study at night. It didn't work for me. The second one, I kind of focused more on the methodology than in the real material, and it didn't work well. And then the third time, somebody told me I got a tutor. I used Barbary, but I use another company called LLM, and they have these definitions, 185 definitions that I learned by heart, one by one, 3, 4 every day. And somebody told me that until I knew those definitions, because I found out that I was a quick thinker, but a slow writer. So that was killing me. I was great at multiple choices, but really bad with the writing part. So to be able to overcome that obstacle, I have to learn these definitions of, summary judgment, evidence, everything that you can think of, 185 definitions, and I learned all of them by heart. And until I did that, I was able to pass the test. But you might feel this stress like you had never felt before, and that's going to be normal. If you are not stressed out about the bar, you should be worried. It's arduous and it's excruciating, but it's doable. And we, the three of us, are proof of that. I mean, Angela, you passed this first try, but I know many people that took it lightly or thought that maybe starting by 2 hours, 3 hours per day was enough. Is not enough. You really need to focus on this. I took time out. I quit my job and just to study, but I did it, and I'm super happy because there is a big difference between being a U.S. attorney and just being a foreign lawyer.
Well, it resonates a lot what you're saying about the slow reader. It happens exactly the same thing to me, Yurima, as well. I didn't notice that I took time until there was a timer on it. And definitely was also, I did the same thing as you. I focus on areas where I could save time, and learning definitions will help us be more quick in terms of, the part that you have to do the essays, and it helps you save some time. So that was definitely something that also helped me as well on my process.
So you can both say that language is a big barrier in the bar exam?
It's definitely an item completely that it's your second language, no English, and so you're indirectly taking a little bit more time on processing information. You're translating, even if you don't think you're doing it, and it takes a little bit of more time, no? And since everything is time, wherever you can save, and again, this comment that Yurima mentioned about learning the definitions was very helpful. Anything that you can do that it could, save that time, that will be helpful. On my end, I recorded myself saying all these definitions, and I would go to work and come back because I live in the Woodlands. So going to Houston, I work at Houston. I would go back and forth hearing the recording on the definition to retain, reading. Again, every person has a different learning process. For me, speaking out loud, hearing myself, writing are good tools to retain information. It's a lot of information that you have to retain. But as Yurima mentioned, I think the process is completely doable. I think you need to hold yourself and try to, go with the process. And I think this type of tool, whatever you choose, I chose Barbie, but there's many, and all of them do a great job of preparing you and showing you what prior versions of the exams look like, which I think is incredibly helpful, and doing a lot of practice. And I think practice is what, of course, the questions are not going to be the same, but it's not going to surprise you for sure.
Actually, I saw that Tracy asked, what exactly is an international lawyer? Do you work with international companies, live internationally? Yes. Being an international lawyer is amazing. And what that means is that you work with different, multiple jurisdictions around the world. Okay, we had a trading house. My expertise is in the trading area, trading of commodities and shipping of commodities. So we had an affiliate in Singapore. We had a lot of connections in London. We sell and buy products worldwide. So yeah, maybe I'm talking in the afternoon with somebody in Argentina for a deal, maybe negotiating a contract, and maybe I'm looking at some regulatory aspects of in Singapore for the shipping of some commodities, and what kind of permits do I need to deliver some commodities in maybe in Rotterdam. So that's more or less what we do on a regular basis. Yeah, I have been working with international companies. My first experience with the international law was at PDVSA in Venezuela. Then I moved to Citco. Citco, they have a lot of They have refineries in the US, but they also have some facilities in Sweden and other countries. So we were going there, working there. That was my first job in the US, Citgo. And then I moved to Total Energies, which is, is a French company, but it works it has a business in 130 countries. So of course you don't cover everything, but we were doing business on a regular basis in Asia, in the Middle East, in Latin America, South America. And you live internationally? Yeah, you may. Before I left Total, I was offered a position in Geneva, but at 9 p.m., there's not a restaurant open in Geneva, and I'm Latina, and I found the city really pretty, but a little boring. So yeah, I didn't want to go there. So I moved to another company. But yeah, you travel a lot, sometimes too much. You deal with people everywhere in the world, and it's just fascinating. In my case, I really love what I do. I love being an international lawyer. I don't know if that answered your question, Chrissy, but I hope so.
So we have another question, maybe for Angela or James. Can maybe take this one. And I know that you both speak another language, but Carlos is asking what opportunities are available for individuals in practicing internationally if they only speak English. Now, I will admit I only speak English and French. So
I think it's a good question for you, Harriet. So
well,
maybe you can give your thoughts as again.
Sure, I'll give it a try. So I found myself obviously in the States. And I work for a global law firm. So we do practice, I do find myself practicing across jurisdictions. I find myself practicing a lot with our Australian office. And actually a bit with our South American arm as well, and our Middle Eastern office. And I think you'll find, honestly, this sounds terrible, but English is an international language. It is useful. I mean, it's like English law is international as well. Most contracts are going to be drafted under English law, a lot will be. And so, as I think Yurima was explaining, she's training to be an English solicitor, and I am an English solicitor as well. And I found that incredibly useful, actually, being able to have that background, that experience, especially in oil and gas, although my practice is predominantly tax and renewables, but having that understanding. So I think you'll find that, although being able to speak another language is incredibly useful when you physically travel, it's not as necessary in terms of actually being able to travel for work, as once upon a time maybe it was. Yeah.
No, I fully agree with you, Harriet, on that. I think having additional language could be helpful, but it's definitely English the common denominator on any transactions. I don't speak very well Portuguese, and whenever I talk to lawyers in Brazil, I speak English and not even Spanish. They, people around the globe in the business setting do speak English, so it's perfectly fine and good to speak English and being an international lawyer.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, for most, if not 100% of the cross-border matters I have handled or I'm now working on, we will form at least a team of 2 lawyers, meaning me and I got a native speaker of English as my partner. So no worries, as long as you have open-minded. Actually, I really need a guy that not like me with English as their second language, because even I am like very well fully prepared. If I go to take a deposition or trial, even my clients will be very worried. James, you speak English with accent. What the jury will think about you? So no worries. So, but I always tell them, actually, speak English with the accent is a unique advantage. it's not a disadvantage because at least at the minimum, it shows you speak another language. So I'm not sure how many listeners or audience are like LLM students like us. I mean, like Angela, like Yurima, like me, not like Harriet. Harriet, she got a unique advantage too. But if you are like us with English second language, don't worry, don't be frustrated, because your real value is because you speak English as a second language. So that's why I always tell my like fellow LLM students, foreign LLM students, you need to maximize your advantage and minimize your disadvantage. If you think you pass by, actually, I hired foreign LLM students like a few years ago, and he's from Latin America. And what my firm care is about his experience, his knowledge, his expertise in the Latin America, not about here. Even you pass by, even don't pass by, no matter. Even if you pass by, I will fire you. Why? Because now you are thinking of competing with this 1 million, more than 1 million JD students, which is not your advantage. Your advantage is like you focus what you already know. You were already licensed to practice, like let's say Mexico, because if you Google nearshoring or onshoring or the renegotiation of the USMCA, there are a lot of opportunities there. So I know I'm not allowed to share screen, but you can do Google's research on FLC. Even you don't pass the bar. And I strongly suggest if you want to land your first job before you pass the bar, you immediately now to register as a foreign legal consultant with the Supreme Court of Texas. This alone, you say, I have not yet passed the bar. Who cares? Because even you pass the bar, if you do not have business, can you go to take a deposition, go to trial now? It's very difficult. So the employer really, at least for me, I know everyone has a different situation. At least what I have seen is that it's all because of you came from where you came from. And you have people who trust you.
Yeah.
Because of you are so efficient in communicating and like earn or obtain the trust that other people cannot. So
Yes,
efficiently.
that's
So,
true. That's
yeah,
true.
so for
I
right,
couldn't agree more with you, James and Angela. I think Carlos' concern is about if he only speaks English, is he going to be able to have a good opportunity? I say absolutely, absolutely. It's great when you are bilingual or trilingual, but being an English speaker is perfect because, as Angela said, everything is in English right now. Actually, we are negotiating a contract in Argentina, and Ecopetrol is a Colombian company. The contract is in English, so that's how the words rolls. English is an international language, and it's the language of business. So you're gonna be fine, Carlos, for sure.
There's a question there on how we landed our first job as an international counsel. And I think we all have different paths and routes on how we landed here in the US, our first job. I don't know, Yurima or James, if you want to start on that question, or you want me? Huh?
You had a successful experience to share that will be interesting to hear.
Again, I think all our stories are successful on different paths, but I think, I can definitely share mine. When I was finishing the LLM, first of all, I think the university here compared, I don't know how it is in Venezuela or China. However, I can tell you in Bolivia, you go to study law, and then the university says, farewell, good luck, and it's not keeping in touch or helping you succeed after the education part is done. But I think U of H does a tremendously great job on that, because they do have a lot of resources while you are a student. They, you know, in my case, I didn't have a network. I remember the first time that they mentioned that I needed to network. I had to research, what is that? Because of course in your home country comes naturally, either for family relationships, your university and everything. So coming here as a foreign attorney and not having connections, how do I network? How do I start that process? But the university did an amazing job on introducing us to many events where we had an opportunity to meet attorneys, law firms, companies. And so I strongly suggest that if you have access, I know it takes time, effort, because you're studying and you have a lot of things juggling, but it's a really good investment to participate on those events. And we'll talk about later about participating in other organizations as you know, doing that effort of commingling and meeting more people. And I think that was, for me, really helpful to create myself and be part of the legal community in Houston. And when I was finishing the LLM, through the career service of U of H, I saw a posting that had you know, requirements that meet my type of experience, and I apply, and that's the current job that I currently have with Tricon. No, so it was a fantastic opportunity. I was able to immediately after the LLM join the company, and they gave me time to prepare for the bar, so I was able to take a couple of months off to prepare for the exam, and then rejoin full-time once I finished. But again, Yurima and James, if you want to share your path on how you landed your first job after the LLM.
Yurima.
Yeah, I'm going ahead. Yeah, after when I finished the LLM, I was thinking about, okay, I should take the bar right away because, you know, without the bar, it's more difficult to get a job of that, at least the type of job that you're looking for. So I was doing some consulting work because I was a consultant before I came to the US. I was doing some consulting work, but then I was hired by a startup company doing business in Latin America, which was very convenient because it was mostly foreign advice. Like I was advising in the laws of some countries in Latin America. And I was working with them till 2014, but then somehow the crisis in the oil and gas industry came in 2014, and the company didn't make it. So I was trying to secure a job. The best advice I got is somebody told me you have to make a game plan. Okay, your peers at the LLM programs, you know, they are going to be your best network. You forge connections with them and also with your professors. So, and then you do everything to be visible. You sell yourself. You need to convey to others what you're going to be able to do, even if you don't have the bar yet. You find a niche. If you have a niche practice in your home country, then you need to show what kind of value you can bring to the table to those people that can refer you. I read that 80% of the jobs in the US you get through your network. So that's why networking is so important here in the US. You know, US lawyers, they are a little bit US centric in their thinking. Some of them feel like foreign lawyers will have trouble adapting to US procedure and substantive law. So this just means that you have to work a little bit harder to convince them that you are a good fit for a job, even when you don't have the bar, the license yet. So you need to make a game plan. You need to make a list of the law firms that you will see yourself working at. Make a list of the companies if you don't want to go to a law firm. You know, you can be off counsel, you can be a foreign advisor. There are so many figures that you can think of when looking for a job before you have your license in the US. You reach out to people over LinkedIn. That's important. LinkedIn is a really great tool for job seeking. I cannot tell you how many recruiters contact me in LinkedIn with positions. You work and reward your resume. You have your resume ready, and your resume has to be tailored to the US standards. You don't use your 3-page or 4 pages resume that you will use in Latin America. That doesn't work. You don't put a photo on your resume here. That's a big no-no. Don't do that. And also you keep your grades up. If you're still in school, you try to get a good grades in case that you go to a law firm for them. That's important. If you are a very experienced lawyer in your country, grades are not so important. But you are just graduate from your LLM and you are young and you want to go to a law firm, grades are important. So make a game plan and stick to your plan and be resilient because you may walk up to many rejections. You just keep going. You just need to be resilient. Maybe you've been hopes in some opportunities that goes to nothing, but you keep going. I mean, I it's like when you're looking for a husband, like you may kiss so many frogs between the prince shows up. That's exactly what happens when you're looking for a job in the US without a license. And something that I think important to remark is that at our time when we just got our degree, I was thinking that companies were focused more on JDs. I don't think that's the case anymore. I have been able to get the same opportunities as JDs with my LLM and my experience. So that's important. Find your niche. Find what kind of law do you want to practice. You don't do law, you practice law. So find what you want to practice. Have a network because 80% of the jobs, I thought it was just an exaggeration, but it's not. It's real. 80% of the jobs you get through your network. Use the university resources. That's fantastic. And use other resources too. I mean, New York University has a LLM job search resources handbook that is pure gold. Use that kind of resources. I can show you later. If you contact me, I will give you some hints. Also, there is a great book that I recommend to many friends, and everybody that I recommend that book to got a job through those advice. I don't have any business with these people or with Amazon or anything like that. The name is 60 Seconds and You Are Hired. It's a book. Written by Robin Ryan. Is the author. And it's a fantastic book to get great advice on how to land a job in the US. So those are my 2 cents.
Thank you so much. James, do you you had experience getting a job through OPT? I wondered if you wanted to briefly tell us a little bit about that. Just if any of our audience are having that experience.
Well, I've talked too much. How about you? You go first. if OPT, I think maybe my the GPA wasn't as good as Angela or Yurima, so they were successful in landing a job with like a bigger major oil companies. I tried my best. I did a Google research and I sent out my resumes, but was not as successful. Then I changed my strategy. I say, if they see me as a cost, no decision maker will hire a guy like me with English as second language and who have not yet passed the bar. And maybe they see you, James, you know what you don't know you are doing here. You are new here, So I changed my approach and I did my research and I targeting like the small law firms because law firms, they are very flexible. So I said during the OPT, you do not pay me anything because OPT is not like can be paid or unpaid. So you just give me what I need is an email address and a hard copy business card. And if possible, also put my name on your website. So I will work as like a law clerk or foreign lawyer, whatever, because I was licensed in China only, and I will develop a business. And then I came up with a formula. Like I will be acting as like a rainmaker. I can also work on this. Or if I do not work on this, I get a portion. In that way, the law firms will see you as a source of cash flow, a source of money. You are bringing money, bringing business, bringing revenue to the law firm. So that strategy worked. And before I passed by, I already brought in millions of dollars in new business. So everyone was very happy. And I think Yurima made a fantastic point, good point. So because I practiced law for nearly 10 years before I moved here in the hottest summer, hottest Houston summer in 2012, even hotter than last year. If you are new, you just graduated from law school back in your home country, maybe it's difficult, but still you have a unique advantage because like for me, maybe my English is not so good here compared with American lawyers, but I'm sure I can beat maybe 95, maybe 99% of these. Now we have 700,000 lawyers in Shanghai, in Beijing. Even they came from like they are based in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is supposed to be a common law jurisdiction like Harriet, like UK, but the law and legal system is so different from the UK system. For example, the bankruptcy, the cross-border insolvency, and also discovery, the deposition. So even the lawyers in Hong Kong, they need my help. So even you just graduate from, let's say, your law school in Venezuela or in Mexico. In Mexico, because Mexico is a neighbor and they have more business. So in Mexico, and a lot of Mexico company, they want to do business here. That's your advantage. That's it, maybe too much. So don't compete with, don't like let everyone see, okay, your disadvantage or you know, you are not good at. Don't show people the area you are not good at. Show them, I can do this, I can do that. I'm not a burden. I create value. I can do this for you without any risk because you don't need to pay me until it works.
That's a good
What
technique.
you offer to me is an email address and a business card and maybe put my name on your website. That costs almost nothing. So
That was a great approach, James.
I eat what I hunt, and actually you can get a nice share of what I hunt. And I'm an efficient lion. I can hunt this, I can hunt that.
There are just a couple of questions I wanted to make sure we answered, and a couple of points I wanted to make sure we covered just before, just because they've had a couple of people have been waiting for us to answer their questions, and this has been amazing. So I'm really glad that we've got into some really good discussions. So thank you so much. This is amazing. So a couple of people have asked us, what about people that want to go internationally, and maybe just go and live like for a year or two and maybe go home again, whether or not we think, I mean, collectively as a group, whether or not there are opportunities for those people.
I think it's the best time for them right now.
Yeah.
Because I think there is a story before the pandemic and a story after the pandemic, when everybody was working from home or from someplace, you know, and then the world realized that you can work from whatever, from any place. And then, you know, I'm curious, and I'm always trying to see what's going on, what's happening around the world. And then you see that somebody's looking a U.S. lawyer in Madrid. You know, like it doesn't even have to be qualifying in Spain. They were happy with having a lawyer in Madrid, a U.S. lawyer in Madrid with U.S. qualification, not even UK. I mean England. That's the right jurisdiction. And also they were looking for a lawyer in Latin America, in a country in South America, to work in Madrid, qualify in South America. And this is the best time. This is the best of the time, like the sun. It's the best of the time for anybody who wants to move to Hawaii to work with maybe friends. I mean, you're gonna have a time zone issue, but besides that, this is the best time. What you need to do is find your niche, find the country that you want to work with or in, and find your niche. Which companies are hiring there? Where are that company's pain points? That's fantastic, because if you can identify what you can do for a company and what you bring to the table, what value you can add to the table, then you will find your place. But in my opinion, if I wanted to go to Madrid to work there as an attorney, I can do that. If I want to go to France, even just with English, as Carlos was asking, just with English is good enough. No, the world is just smaller and smaller every day. Yeah, I think it's a good time to do that.
I would add that in terms of, because I concur completely with what Yurima's mentioned, I think there was a question that about the world changing, or what is our experience before and after the pandemic. And as Yurima mentioned, in my experience as well, although I was working already at a very international company with offices all over the place, they had that impression that we all needed to be sitting in an office to be working, until one day we couldn't, and everything went smoothly. And after the pandemic, we're able to have a more flexible schedule and be able to work remotely, which is very convenient for people like us that have family abroad. And again, with the vacations, you're not able to spend a lot of time with family. So be able to work from your home country, or as Yurima mentioned, take on a side project, or if you get involved in another project and work in another jurisdiction for some time, is fantastic. And it's a good time to do that. I think there's a question on how you find those opportunities. And Yurima already touched that, trying to make your game plan and trying to see where you see yourself. And again, I stress a lot of the networking part. I think once, as Yurima mentioned, that you identify those companies, law firms, etc., that have that area of the law or type of business that you're interested, see what people you can meet from those companies or law firms. And there are multiple events and opportunities where you can get exposure and contact with international lawyers. I think we mentioned already, LinkedIn is a great tool also to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm doing this and that, and I'm interested in exploring opportunities. There are many companies that maybe are acquiring assets in a different jurisdiction and need someone be there for those opportunities. So that happened many times. So yeah, I think.
I was just going to say, I would also highly plug the Houston Bar Association's international section as well. I mean, we're on the doorstep of an entire international community, so don't overlook who is right here as well. Just, where are a vast number of international companies there in Houston. So come to HYLA events, come to HBA events, come and meet the very people who are working on these deals. Come and meet Angela and Yurima and James and Maria and myself, and come and see us, because I do think that's how we talk about networking, but just as a real life example, I made my first internship while I was at U of H by making friends with a professor who had a friend whose friend worked at Weatherford, or they golfed together, literally. It's such a cliche, but they were looking for an intern in the tax group. And then that helped me get my job at a tech company that then wind up sort of, casually through the law firm world, wound up at Norton Rose Fulbright. So I would just highly recommend go and meet people, get out there, no matter how shy you are, how terrifying it seems. I promise we're lovely people. We'd love to see you. If you've seen any of us at anything, come up and be like, hi, like we've met at something, we really truly would love to see you, and we'd really love to make you feel welcome. So
fantastic. And I'll take the opportunity. I will be right now in this new year ahead, the chair of the International Law section of the Houston Bar Association, and Yurima is also part of the council, and James also participated on this event. So, that will be a great opportunity, as well as Harriet mentioned, to meet, international lawyers and people that work with international lawyers or have interest. And so I think after, this conversation, you will get our contact information and you can reach out. And through also the websites of the Houston Bar Association, keep track on these events, try to participate. And please, if, as Harriet mentioned, if you join, please come say hi, and we will try to gear you and point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Question for Angela. So,
Yeah.
chairperson Angela, what's our next event for International Law section of HVA?
So we are planning a full calendar ahead with very exciting events. So we'll soon have that. We are organizing as we speak that. So I think our first events are going to be coming up probably in August for this new term. And yeah, we'll have a really interesting, I think after the pandemic, we'll have a lot of in-person events. So that will give an opportunity, a great opportunity to meet people and connect.
Yeah, and some of the association, these professional affiliations, some of them are free for students. Many of them, and they have, whenever they had an event, they have some spot just for students. So you don't have to pay that. And not using those resources is a waste of your time, because you never know where the person that is going to recommend you to a new job. I got my 3 jobs in the US through my network. So in my case, I'm a living proof that it works, and that's how things work here. So just do what you can do. Ask your professor if they will be comfortable connecting you with any other peers and friends or colleagues. And a number of most fruitful conversation I had came from these contents. And one of my jobs was through one of my professors. So use those resources. If you don't succeed through one room, find another door to push. There are resources out there for you that you can use to land a job in the US if you want a job in the US. US attorneys are exponentially better paid than lawyers for many other, if not all other countries. And even if you are you're going back home, if you can pass the bar and get a US license, that will put you out of the back, And don't get discouraged. Maybe you were the big shot or the front of the pack in your home country, and here you're just a student. But we all were there. We all were there, and now we made it. You can say that we made it because We are in great positions, making good money, and what we want to do now is pay forward, okay? Because many people help us being here to reach the place that we are here. We want to pay forward. That's why we use our time to share with you our experiences. So big takeaway, be resilient, keep going, be polite, sell yourself, and be careful that whenever you look at somebody profile on LinkedIn, they will know that you're looking. So careful, but reach out to people. Go out and network and do your part if you want to stay in the US and get a job here. It's amazing. I can tell you, it's doable. Go do it.
Feel free to reach out to any of us if you have questions. I know Maria has some amazing resources for the Houston Law Center, specifically for the LLM offerings and what they have there that we can circulate to anyone that's interested. We were going to send those out at the end of the session. I'll let Maria take that away briefly.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say, if I may add, well, thank you, Angela, for your kind words. And thank you, all of you. It's very exciting for us to see all our alumni doing so well. And, you know, it's very rewarding, of course. We have an international, we have a forum at the Law Center that is called ILSA, International Law Students Alliance. And we meet every first Tuesdays of the month. And we like to gather, to put together all the student JDs, LLMs, also exchange students we get from other universities around the world, and international or internationally minded. Carlos, this is for you, because you don't really need to be international to be internationally minded if you are interested in the international arena or prospects. So be assured, and we like to invite alumni to participate, and some of our students, so be sure we'll be contacting you guys maybe to participate and talk with us and share your experience with our students. So yeah, we are very glad. And of course, Houston is an international city, so that's why we need to be internationally oriented as well. And very excited about what HYLA is doing, HBA, and we would like to be in contact and be there. We always present in your activities because we like to keep in contact, of course. So thank you very much. And yeah, we are, Harriet has some information in case anybody needs it, some information about our LLM programs, also the Legal English Certificate program. There is just an online program, 4-week program that really helps international lawyers to boost their English and also some basics of US law. So yeah, whatever you guys may need, we are here to help, of course.
Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. Thank you for all your incredible questions. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us for our first Conversations with International Lawyers for 2024.
Thank you so much. And bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Great job, guys. You okay?
Sorry, try again. Thanks, Lucy.
Oh yeah, sure. I thought it went really, really well. I won't keep you. It went really, really well.
No, I think it did too. No, I think it did too. I'm pleased with how that went, to be honest.
Yeah. So I know the next one is Ukraine, I think. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so. I just need to reach out to them and make sure that we're all kind of set, but I think so.
Okay, and do we have a CLE for July yet?
I think, is that not it?
That's international.
Oh, that's international. Oh, goodness. Okay.
I was thinking maybe we could do something with constitutional law, because it's
Yeah.
4th of July kind of thing.
Good idea. I need to get in touch with Miriam and get that list from her of all the people that
Wait,
were
hold on, she's on the phone. Hey, Miriam, you want to come? Can you come back on
Yeah.
to Zoom? Okay, okay, thank you. Bye.
Sorry, I need
Yeah.
the list from her to know what, because she said that there was a list. I think before I stopped.
So I was thinking,